What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to Tour Life. Today is Tuesday, November 12th, and we have a great guys tonight. Biggest storylines of the year. Uli, Silas, if you didn't bring them to the show, you have a few 30 minutes or so to come up with some. Maybe less than that. But I got a bunch to talk about, so if you didn't, it's all good. 2024 Disc Golf Pro Tour schedule. We'll be going through that. PDGA messes up again. Uli, shocker. And there was a world championship this past weekend. We'll talk all about it, and we got some of the juiciest listener questions coming up. And this might be our last live show ever.
Ever?
Uli, how we doing, brother?
Sad now. Last live show ever. Getting the blurs out of here? Is that the plan?
I mean, I have fiber, Uli. I have fiber, brother. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. My download and upload speed is 350 plus megabytes. So I know you love the live shows. We might have to wait, Uli, until I don't even know. Was I not blurry when we were on the road? Was it better when I was traveling?
I don't think it's ever been good.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been
good for the people. Yeah, it's been tough.
So we're not doing live anymore. This is the last live. We're gonna be doing pre-recorded, and we'll be posting them Tuesday nights heading forward because the blur factor. I don't know how you guys honestly watch this every week. I honestly don't.
They listen. I think it's more they listen rather than watch, probably.
I know, but that's the problem. Is it's a YouTube video. We have we have video. Heck, I'd much rather be sitting here without a shirt on talking disc golf. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear that.
But how'd your week go, man?
It's kind of a slow week. I mean, nothing, just doing the family life. Let me think. Yeah, when you can't really think of anything that happened, it was pretty slow. It's pretty dang slow.
I think this week was pretty slow for most. I didn't really have too much craziness happen. Raiders had an off week, so Kelsey was here all week, which was nice. We just started. The big thing, I guess you could say, outside of disc golf was we just started doing YouTube breaks. So we just I created a website, got that all set up, and we now have a website that you can jump in and break with us. If you don't like Whatnot, or if you're like kind of, hey, I don't want to go over there, you can do that now on YouTube. So we had our first live show last night. It was a lot of fun, and we'll be doing more of that in the future. So that probably was like the biggest highlight of the week. I think really anything else happened. I mean, Saturday college football was insane.
Yeah, it was a fun weekend for sports, especially my Steelers. Pretty good weekend.
They might be the real deal.
Yeah, I think it's smoke and mirrors.
No one throws the long ball like Russ.
No.
Man.
Big looping,
feathery
bombs.
George Pickens is probably one of the more entertaining players in the NFL.
Yeah, very underrated.
His jump stiff arm was wild. And then I showed Kelsey the clip because she loves Twilight when he did like the vampire bite after that interception with that guy. Oh man, George Pickens, what a character. But yeah, super slow week. Nothing too crazy. I actually just opened up Disc Golf Scene to remind myself to take a peek at maybe some upcoming tournaments here in the Texas area that I might play. The past weekend, VPO actually went down right here in Arlington, Texas. But I think it rained 2 of the 3 days.
Yikes.
I'm good on that.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm good on that. And also
it's probably cold. Is it getting cold there?
It's starting to chill down. Yeah, it's starting to get a little chilly some days. Today it was actually beautiful, but some days, some of the days it's getting a little chilly. So, I had my driveway looked at, so that was other news.
For what?
So we live in a pretty we live in an area where they had to bring in a whole lot of dirt to level out where they put the house, right? So when that happens, foundation, all that stuff is like a big thing. And whoever built the driveway portion, I guess when you lay the rebar to lay the cement on, because if you don't have rebar on it, it's just gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So you lay the rebar down, and whoever laid the rebar down, there was one section that they didn't connect properly. And so over time, as the ground and I mean, heck, the trees even pull soil and water and all
the
that
roots
stuff,
and everything.
right? So as that kind of happens, it pulls the ground from underneath and it kind of stretches. And the rebar is what's supposed to hold it together. So that's where you see like micro cracks and stuff. But this crack has gotten super big. And then we looked underneath the driveway and there's like a shelf. So it's like there's probably, I think he said he was going to, there's a couple options that they can do. One of the options is they can like pump foam under it to kind of like keep it in place. And he said he was going to pump 600 pounds of foam. That's how much dirt has basically eroded away over time. So yeah, dark horse fun day. Probably gonna have to drop like $5,000 to $8,000 to get that fixed. So that's hey, owning a house, it's expensive, brother.
Oh my gosh, it's insane.
Very expensive.
It's nice, but the upkeep is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, there's benefits and negatives to it. I mean, one of the benefits is like, I have this problem, I get the problem done, it's going to be done within a week, right?
Yeah.
Versus if you're renting, gosh, I remember trying to get a hold of people and trying to get them to set, and it's like, we got to get multiple people to come at. Oh my gosh, and you're just like, brother, I don't have any hot water. What's going on? So, people are saying $8,000, guys. We're laying all new concrete. So they're taking all the concrete out and we're also reshaping our driveway. So
that's not a bad price then.
That's why it's going to be $8,000. Yeah. Were you freaking out too, Silas?
No.
$8,000.
Yeah.
It added up to
It's
me
not that
600
bad.
pounds of
It's not that
foam.
bad.
I figure.
Well, they're not even doing the foam. They're going to bring in their own soil now. So they're ripping out.
So you're doing it the right way. You're getting rid of all the problems, redoing the whole thing. Yeah,
I guess
sense. That's
do.
A good price.
Yeah, when they put driveways in, I didn't really actually know this, but you know how like they have like the little creases in them?
Sure.
So they put like slabs in. I never knew that. I thought they just laid it all down, but they do pieces. So
nice.
We're getting a whole piece fixed and then also adding basically a new piece because Kelsey wants the driveway to go a certain direction. So, Corey, if we knew the answer, Shirley would tell you. All right. Let's jump into our sponsor of this video, today's podcast, Manscaped. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Every man knows the unbeatable feeling of a fresh barbershop shave. Now, what if I told you that you no longer have to wait weeks or even months between appointments to experience it? Introducing Manscaped's latest release, the Chairman Pro Package. The all-in-one set includes everything you need to recreate the luxury of a professional shave right at home. Whether you're after the daily silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, the Chairman Pro Package has you covered. Head over to manscaped.com and join the over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using the code TOURLIFE for 20% off plus free shipping. First up, we have at the start of the show, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver. This just isn't any shaver. It comes with 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. You can have the skin-safe 4-blade foil for that close, smooth shave when you're looking to go completely clean. And you have the skin-safe stubble trimmer for when you want to keep a bit of the rugged look. But that's not all. The package also includes the Power Shave Gel to get the ultimate wet shave experience. This non-irritating lubricating formula is made specifically to work with the Chairman Pro, providing a smooth, comfortable shave. And to finish it off, we got the Face Shave Soother. This aftershave serum is a game changer. Use it after shaving to hydrate your skin and soothe any post-shave irritation. It's designed to help reduce redness and defend against ingrown hairs and razor bumps. Get the Chairman Pro package today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. It has everything you need to keep your face looking and feeling its best, all in one box. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code TOURLIFE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code TOURLIFE at manscaped.com. All right. Well, should we jump into it? I have yet to watch, just throwing it out there, I've yet to watch the Imposter episode this week. So there won't be any Imposter episode talk this week. Was not able to get that watched before. But I'm sure next week we'll dive into what went down. But I'm excited about this segment here. We are going to be breaking down what I consider the biggest storylines of the year. Uli, Silas, by all means, please jump in if you do have anything. And we'll discuss each one and we'll kind of just go through it. I think the first one, this is in no particular order.
Okay.
But the first one, I'm going to start with AB winning 4 times. I mean, here's a guy that we have been saying, it seems like for the last 3 years, oh man, if he can just figure it out, if he can just make a win, if he can just putt under pressure, if he could just, and all of a sudden he figured it out. And it wasn't just, hey, I got 1 win, awesome. No. He won 4 times. Now, he kind of cooled off a little bit towards the end of the season, but by God, did he figure it out at the beginning, and he came out fast, played great. And it wasn't one of those things where he was winning tournaments that other people weren't at. It wasn't one of those things where, he didn't really have a big name chasing him down. It's like, all right, well, he won against the best people when the best people were playing. So that, I think, is the first one. AB winning 4 times this season.
Do you think there's something to, like, players coming out super hot in the beginning of the season? Is there something to, like, where they live? The fact that they can play all off season? Do you think that's a real thing?
Yeah.
Because I do.
It's very similar to what we had at Ultimate Frisbee too. One of the 2 biggest programs why I was playing Ultimate Frisbee were us at Florida and Wisconsin. And Wisconsin, they would practice, the off season or the Ultimate Frisbee schedule starts roughly around the same. It's kind of almost the same schedule as disc golf. Like, it starts around the same amount of time. Now it only goes till, I think, May. But normally around like October, November is when you start doing like preseason. But the season doesn't really start until February, right? February, I believe, was like the first big tournament every year. And Wisconsin always didn't look that great. And it's why? Well, they're throwing in a arena all winter, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's so cold up there, and there's
it's
inches
terrible.
of snow on the ground. You can't play outside. And I think it's 100% a big factor for a lot of these guys. And it's not so much they start playing bad. I don't think that's it. I think it's a lot of people. It takes a few weeks for them to kind of get their legs under them.
Yeah, for sure. Because I remember thinking the same thing. I lived in Arizona, so I'd play all off season, and I'd typically start off pretty good. And I remember being like, "Oh, these guys aren't playing good. This is kind of weird." And then as the season went on, you know what I mean? Everybody kind of started playing well. But at what point do you think that Gannon's like thinking, I need to move to a good climate so I can play all the time?
Yeah.
He's got to be, right?
I mean, if I was Gannon's age, I would 100% buy a house in Florida or in Arizona or something, because I've done off seasons now, one in Lynchburg and a couple now in Dallas. Even Dallas is not great. I mean,
it's bad,
For those that think that going out and playing disc golf in 30 degrees with a bunch of jackets and gloves and all that,
it's awful.
I
don't think I've ever done it.
You're not actually getting better.
No.
Because with disc golf, it's all about timing, right? It's all about getting your timing down. It's all about the feel of having the feel of the disc. You can't feel the disc, and you're not throwing anywhere near full capacity.
No, and the disc doesn't travel as far, and it's like, I think it's like anything. Like, I've never been a really good cold player. until like later on in my career, where I had to then adjust, because you have to learn how to play in the cold. You have to learn what your new speed is, how far the disc is going, where the flip is. And those are all things that are like really tough, because you can't, like you said, you can't feel the disc. So you're almost like planning on a shank flip, if that makes anything. You're like shanking it down the line, and then you're like, okay, it's not going to flip at the right point. So now I have to go super understable. I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of go into it. I was watching a clip the other day of, it was Phil Mickelson talking about how far the ball travels with different lies and different conditions and wind and everything. And he goes through it with whoever was hosting. I think it was a podcast or it was an interview or something. And he goes through it, and he has like 7 answers in a row, and he gets super in depth in like how he thinks about it, and how like 3 yards means like a lot and all this stuff. And I was like, well, we have to deal with that too. And in order to learn that stuff, you got to play a long time, because then you have to adjust for the cold. You have to adjust for however you're feeling that day. You have to adjust for all these little minor things. And I think that's what makes really great players great, is because they do that kind of on the fly. And I think newer players struggle with that a little bit, like wind conditions and the way that it flies. And maybe the morning it doesn't fly as far. So you got to adjust for that. And then as you warm up through the day or whatever, or maybe you don't have a good warm up session, like, I don't know, feeling it out, I think, is something that's never talked about and is super important.
That is one aspect of disc golf that is more difficult than golf is, when it's cold in golf, you're really just adjusting for, all right, I'm not hitting my 7-iron 200 yards anymore.
It's a distance
I'm hitting
thing.
at 190. In disc golf, discs are flying differently now. You're not getting as much spin or power on it. And so they're not just going shorter. But now a disc that normally would flip up for you is not flipping up at all, because you're not able to get it up to speed. So that is actually an area, I would agree with you there. That is an area that's a little bit more challenging. All right, my next one, biggest storylines of the 2024 year, Isaac Robinson going back-to-back.
Absolutely.
I think with all the talk about how much more challenging the field is now more than ever, how many players are, how many people week in and week out actually have the chance to win is just growing and growing year after year. And to be able to go to the tournament that everyone circles as the most important, the tournament that they want to win, and to be able to go there and win it your first time last year, and then come in this season as a defending champ and have all that pressure on you. And honestly, not really have that great of a season leading up to it. It wasn't like he was, winning all these tournaments and having a great season. And to do it again, I mean, that's definitely one of the biggest storylines of the year.
No, it is. And the question is, does he have what it takes to do it a few more times? Because then if he can do it two more times, we're talking about a top 5 player of all time.
If he repeats, he's in the category of what? Paul, Ken, and that's it?
That's it, yeah.
Oh.
And there's not a lot of people with 2 world championships anyway.
No.
Let alone in a crazy elite category. But what I'm saying is, if he can get a couple more worlds, we're talking about an all-timer. And that's kind of crazy, because he came out of nowhere when he first won, had a great season, wins the world championship. And I know what everybody was thinking, because I thought it. All right, he got he's going to win a few more times on tour. But I never thought, especially with how he was playing the second year, like, okay, yeah, he's the guy that's going to win the world championship. So it just didn't cross my mind. And now he's in the spot of where I'm like, oh my gosh, he's about to do something special if he gets 2 out of the next 4 years.
And he's done it at 2 different venues, right? GMC or, Green Valley, or however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it up there. Green Mountain with the Fox Run and Brewster, both very short courses, very short. One wooded, one in the open. Then you go to Lynchburg and you do it at New London, a very long wooded course. And then you do it at Ivy Hills, a very long open course. It didn't matter. He did it for both. So very impressive stuff. All right, so we talked a lot about winning. We got to talk about not winning because this was a big storyline. Paul Macbeth not winning in the 2024 season.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't know what the odds would have been coming into this season, but I'm pretty sure everyone would have hammered at least, the over if it was Paul winning a tournament 0.5, over under. I think everyone's hammering the over that he's going to win at least one.
Yeah, you'd be silly not to.
He put himself in contention a couple times. Definitely put himself in contention a couple times. Probably would have liked to have a couple of those back with some of the poor putting performances in some of those final rounds. But, it's one of those things. Winning now is very tough. You not only have to play very well, but you have to hope someone else doesn't play very well.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw it happening. I mean, but that's a crazy streak. Ricky ended up keeping the streak going.
Ricky's streak is, the fact that Ricky's still chugging along is actually insane.
At a very high level.
Because it's only getting harder and harder and harder to win. Right? And so the fact that he's still able to rattle off wins.
I mean, he's the second, in my opinion, he's the second best player in the world still.
I think behind Gannon, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, who are you going to put above him? You can't. There's no way.
He's overall too consistent.
And I think some of his performances this year was the best he's ever played ever.
I think there are some people that have a higher ceiling than he does.
Yeah.
But I think overall, besides Gannon,
I don't know, man. That guy goes low sometimes, though.
Yeah, but like when AB's on. When Isaac is on too, like he's not missing gaps, he's not missing lines, he's not missing putts.
It's a different style too. But back to the point, Macbeth
not winning. Crazy.
Macbeth is insane. Now, what do you think about next year? Do you hammer the over? You got to hammer the over. Because here's the thing. You can't discredit the fact that he came off an injury. A pretty bad shoulder injury.
His chances aren't worse. And
so he had a slow start, right? And then caught stride and put himself in position in a lot of tournaments to finish. So he made a lot of lead cards going down the stretch.
Yeah.
A lot of lead cards.
Yeah.
Slowed down towards the end. USDGC and the Tour Championship slowed down. I thought we were going to see him make a pretty big push. Did he make the lead card at US? I don't think so.
USDGC, I don't believe so. I think second card maybe.
Okay, so he made a semi good push there, but he's too good, and he's, it's like when you're talking about the greats, they're too stubborn. They're too stubborn for it to be just fine, and for him to ride off into the sunset. You know what I mean? Like that irks him. He's gonna get a couple more.
Yeah, I don't think because he didn't win last year, that means coming into this season he has a better chance of winning or he has a worse chance of winning.
No.
I don't think his game has really changed all that much.
He can't putt.
The last couple seasons.
I mean, you look at the eye test, dude. The guy's throwing it as good. He's giving himself crazy opportunities over and over and over. And
he's missing some shorties.
You could ask him. You could be like, "Hey, why didn't you win?" And he could be like, "My putting was either good from deep or good from close, and I didn't make any deep ones." And you got to combine those two for a whole tournament.
Yep.
And he just didn't have it. I mean, I've seen some. His putt doesn't look the same.
No, there's like a weird hitch to it now.
Which is fine, but that if you got to stick with that for a few seasons, you know what I mean? And then once he finds it, because like I said, it's not like he was putting bad all over the place. Like he was hit, like I think one of the tournaments, what was it?
No, he had some good.
He was just destroying the band over and over and over and over. And so it's just like these minor adjustments that he needs to make. And if he sticks with that stroke, he's great. You don't got to worry about the mind there. You know what I mean? But you kind of got to find it and you got to stick with it. So I hope he does. I hope he sticks with it and he doesn't fiddle with it anymore. You gotta find a consistent stroke and then hammer it out for a couple of years.
Yeah. Another story here. Biggest stories of the 2024 year. Ricky coming up short at the majors. We just talked about him probably being the second best player in the world, having a pretty good season, still getting wins. He finishes 4th, third, second, and sixth at the majors this year. Man. And it's only going to get harder. Like the people don't act like it's going to get hard. It's going to get harder. Like he's going to think about it more and more and more every time. Man, when was the last time I won one of these? Everyone says I can't win one of these. I think if he does pop one off, I wouldn't be surprised if he got two, like pretty quickly. Like if he wins another one very quickly. But man, that first one again, I get, he's already won some, but that first one again after this long streak of not winning one, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. There's so many guys that want their first too.
How many does he have? I think he has 9 majors, and he hasn't won in how long?
Yeah, there's so many majors that I wouldn't even really consider a major, but yes, he probably does have a decent amount. He does. He hasn't won a big one in 7 years or something like that.
Yeah, and not even okay. So let's say we'll take your point. Okay, so horrible majors. He hasn't won one of those in 7 years either. Yeah. So it kind of takes away from your point a little bit.
It is crazy. It is crazy. Missy winning the big money tournaments.
I think that's just a storyline every year. I think that just is what she is. You know what I mean?
It is crazy, man. It is crazy that, is there something there? Is there something that she rises to the occasion on the big money tournaments, and other people with the big money on the line, they kind of, tense up? Or is it just simply coincidence? Like, yep, she wins. She's going to win a lot. She's going to win a lot because she's good. And she just happens to win these tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because they're the biggest tournaments. And once you win at the biggest stage, it becomes easier and easier and easier, and that's what she's doing. Like Ricky, for example, he wins the big one, and then he almost wins it for 3 straight years.
Yeah,
becomes easier. Everybody else wants it. It's harder. He knows how to do it. She knows how to do it, and then it's done.
Another big story for the 2024 season: Joey Buckets is an absolute threat to win at any tournament.
He's like an Isaac. He really is. Just consistent, smooth, right down the middle. Great storyline because it shows the rest of the field that you don't need the big distance. You don't need any of those things. He's not the greatest putter. He's not, he doesn't have the longest sidearm. He doesn't have the most power. But if you keep it smooth and you throw it down the middle and you make most of your putts, here's what he did really great this year. Okay. He didn't do any of those other things great. What he did is at the right tournaments, he's put himself in position over and over and over again. And when you do that, you learn situationally how to get over the hump. And started in Florida. Kept the momentum. I remember thinking in Florida, like, okay, yeah, this guy's never going to have a good finish again, like the whole year.
Yeah, it's just a one and done type of thing.
Yeah, like great start. He lives wherever he lives. Everybody else was rusty. Okay, I get it. Next tournament, lead card. Next tournament, lead card. Next tournament. You know what I mean? He had a little lull in there, and then he goes to Europe, finds it again, comes back, wins Idlewild. Very next tournament, World Championships lead card. He did a great job of learning how to score out there with his game, putting himself in position. And I think it's a great storyline to show the rest of the field, like, hey, why are you practicing in the field trying to throw 700-foot bombs?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this guy's right down the middle. And this isn't a knock on him. This is more of a compliment. Doesn't do anything great. What he does great is he scores.
Yeah. And
that's the most important thing in disc golf.
Yeah. He scores very, very well. Next one is Presnell, shocking everyone, winning the Champions Cup.
This is one of my favorite storylines of the year. And the reason is this dude, it's a man after my own heart, dude. He's out there grinding, playing 100 tournaments a season. My whole career, I've said this. You can't teach winning. You can't do it. You got to go out there and you have to learn. You have to win. It's a perfect example because this guy wins 14 tournaments a year, albeit small ones.
Yep. Guess
what? It's different pressure, but if you do it the right way and you put your mindset back into those other tournaments that you won, and I asked him right afterwards, I said, hey, did those things help? He's like, absolutely. Absolutely, they helped. I know how to win. And it's just good to see one of the grinders win one. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere, too.
Yeah, and it wasn't even one of those two of where he was like, well, I can just kind of coast in. Like, he had some serious things happen that final round. He lost his only putter. Like, that right there could easily derail your entire round. A lot of people could just be like, oh my gosh, this is not my day. I'm not supposed to win.
That does sound like something that happens at a C tier.
Yeah, exactly.
Water, putter god didn't mark the OB properly.
But like down the stretch, he had to make the throws and he had to make the putts, and he did. Yeah. He did. He answered the call. And I mean, for someone that has never won on tour to just show up and basically put everyone on check that final round. Very impressive performance. Has to be discussed more, I think, in the future as well.
Yep.
We're going to get to this because this is actually related to another thing we'll talk about later. But Kristina Tatar officially hit 1,000 rated this season. So 2024, first year ever an FPO player ever crossed the 1,000 rated mark. Say what you want about ratings. We'll go a little bit more into ratings here in a few once we get to this other topic, but that is a milestone for what it's worth in disc golf, and it's one that has never been crossed by an FPO player, and she was the first. Very cool. Another storyline of the 2024 season: baskets suck at catching discs. So lots and lots of talk about spit outs. This basket sucks. Heck, even the Disc Golf Pro Tour had people, I guess, putting at baskets, testing them out, which I don't know. That makes no sense. Why the heck are you doing that? But yeah, baskets suck at catching discs, apparently. So that was a big storyline this year. Another big storyline, the Jedi Spotter. The Jedi Spotter on hole 16 out at Emporia Country Club. That got a lot of people talking, and he'll never be forgotten. He'll never be forgotten. Evelina can be the worst putter in the field and still win a world title. That's one of the bigger stories of the year. She couldn't make a putt inside of or outside of 10 feet. But she was throwing the disc so good, it didn't matter. I think that will be something we look back on and be like, how the heck did she win that? And can you imagine, what if Evelina comes back this season and figures something out? Like sometimes you see guys, maybe like, what if she came back and was like going to the granny, right? Can't shoot free throws all off season, was grinding on a granny shot. Comes back in the first free throw, you see her bust out a granny. You're just like, uh-oh. Like, what are we going to see if she does come back and all of a sudden her putt looks completely different, completely changed? It's no longer this weird hinge thing, and she's just draining putts. And she doesn't even have to be a good circle 2 putter. It's just like, be like an 80 to 70% C1X putter.
Best advice I could give her: take some of the coin that you won. Go find the best psychologist you possibly can, sports psychologist, and spend the whole off season working with that person. The best.
Between the ears, huh?
Absolutely.
All right.
Because she makes them sometimes, and if you can make them sometimes, then you can make them all the time.
Bobby just said she comes out draining scoobers. If she comes back and just starts scoobering every putt, oh man, that would be a story. All right, a couple more here. Divergate. Back, you remember this? OTB,
Oh, yeah.
Madison Walker. Diver jumps out of the water, grabs her disc out of the air. Never seen anything like that before. That was crazy. And then the final one here. Wow. Pros not being able to show up to their tee time on time.
That's a great one.
That was a massive storyline at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
People couldn't do it. Just show up at this time. No one could figure it out. That was
I already
crazy.
forgot. About it.
Yeah, because it wasn't like an issue towards the end of the season because everyone was like, all right, this is that hard. But at the beginning of the season, man, people could not figure out how to show up to the tee times. It was crazy.
You get in a rhythm though, and you've been doing disc golf your whole life, playing tournaments your whole life, and then a
Sure.
new rule like this, it is a little difficult. I had one situation where I looked at the clock, I had 23 seconds to get. Luckily, it was like 100 feet, and I ran over there. But I was talking on the putting green,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, chatting it up, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I look around my car. I'm like, "Oh shoot!" Run
You
over
gotta
there.
you gotta have either an alarm set
I already had it.
or you
it
gotta
was
have a
on.
caddy.
Yeah,
Because-
Brad was chatting too.
Yeah, because a lot of these practice places don't have like a clock.
No,
Some of them do. So sometimes we'll have a clock over on like that training table, but a lot of them don't. And so like if you don't have your phone handy or you don't have someone like looking at you,
you know what you could do pretty easily? Have a nice little loudspeaker. Announce your people once they tee off. Okay, next on the box in 10 minutes. Blah 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 blah.
that's not even a bad idea because that also lets the spectators, know
exactly.
who's about to tee off.
Yep.
So I don't hate that. I know they do that out at Emporia.
Mm-hmm.
They will do that out in Emporia. So I actually don't hate that idea.
Yeah, but you can't hear them because you're half mile away in Emporia.
Yeah, I was just saying like it is a nice thing too for the spectators to let them know like, hey, coming up these players. I don't hate that. All right. Let's we've pushed this off long enough. I think now is the time to get into it. So let's talk a little bit about the 2025 season next year.
All right.
So I want to get your idea and your take because I do think this is something that needs to be addressed in regards to where we're playing and when we're playing. Because there's some times where we're like, the way I view it is I do think the PGA Tour has some like obligations, right? There might be some things of where it's like, hey, we already have these tournaments and someone, a new sponsor wants to come in and they don't want to do it at this course. They want to do it at this course. And so I do think sometimes the PGA Tour goes places because that's where the money is at that specific time of the year. But I would say majority of the time they have it figured out. Of this is how the PGA Tour is going to go. We're an outside sport that needs good weather. This is not football. This is not baseball.
Starts off in Hawaii, dude.
Like I think they probably have years and years of this figured out. I don't know why we don't follow their pathing of where they're going, where we kind of go as well. That kind of, it's very strange, but let's talk about the first thing. So I thought maybe next year we were going to see a change here. We're not. So we start in February 28th through March 2nd. We're going back down to Brooksville, Paul's course in Florida for the Florida Open, which I don't hate. I don't hate starting off in Florida at all. I don't mind it. The part I don't like is why the heck are we going to Texas? Like, that's the part of where I think we're missing out. Like, you're telling me we can't, there's no tournaments in Georgia or anywhere between there and Texas.
Yeah.
That's that's the only thing I don't understand. Or why aren't we going up north? Why aren't we starting up and going into like the Carolinas? And we can go to the Carolinas again later in the season. It's weird to me that it goes from Florida and then bang, we're back in Texas. That is strange. I wish we spent more time in the Southeast to start the season.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably enough places in Florida where we could play a couple tournaments over there too.
Yeah, the place in Jacksonville, now to be fair, I do think they are trying to find places that are going to have a lot of people show up.
Yeah.
The place in Jacksonville was kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so I get that. But like, man, you're telling me we can't find a course in Miami Orlando, Tampa. Heck, Gainesville even has a pretty decent disc golf community there. Tallahassee. Like, we can't find any courses to have that does seem a little crazy to me. Seems a little crazy to me.
And Texas is so hit and miss that time of year.
I don't like, people were talking about it too. They're like, when you go there in March, all the leaves aren't on the trees yet. Waco's is a completely different animal. It would be fun to play in Texas at Waco later in the year.
Yeah,
Have
the
to
rough
deal
is
with
ridiculous.
a more wooded course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we go to Texas. We're back at Waco. I'm assuming we're back to the 2 course. I'm guessing we're going to do that again, a little bit at the Beast and then at the golf course there. Looks like that is going to be a 3-day tournament. The Florida tournament actually looks like a 4-day tournament. Was it a 4-day tournament last year?
No, I don't think so.
I think last year was just 3, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Seems about right.
I
Yeah.
wonder if they're going to be doing some cuts this year.
Oh gosh, please. Cuts at every tournament, please. So it does look like Florida will be a 4-day tournament. Waco will be a 3-day tournament. Then we go to a 4-day tournament open at Austin. That'll be March 20th to 23rd.
So what are the gaps? We go Florida. How many weeks do we have till?
We have a week off.
Okay.
Then we go Waco. Next week we go Austin. Then it looks like we have a week off. We go to Nashville. Jeez. Gosh. Okay. Again, like, that's a pretty long little trek, but all right. We go Nashville, Music City Open, April 4th through the 6th. Then from there, we go to the Kansas City. Okay, I like this. We go to the Kansas City Wide Open. I thought this deserved to be on tour.
Yep.
Very, very cool course. Big local support.
Oh,
I think,
huge. That's going to be one of the biggest ones of the year.
I think that'll be a big one right there. I mean, heck, these people have been saying years and years and years, stop putting tournaments in Emporia. We don't want to drive to Emporia. The tour's listening. So I got to give them hats off to them. They put it in Kansas City. That's where the people are. That's going to be a big one. Make the people in Emporia drive out to Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? April 17th through the 19th there. So there will be a week off between Nashville and that tournament in Missouri. And then we are going to our first major. So it looks like that's going to be 2 weeks off. So it looks like we have 2 weeks off. And our first major will be May 1st through the 4th. And that will be the Champions Cup out in Stockton, Georgia. I don't know about this one. I don't mind the timing. I actually like the timing of this because I think it's going to space out the majors pretty good. Now, obviously, we're having
Till back to back.
We're having Europe Worlds and European Open, but I like the timing of Champions Cup. I think that Champions Cup should be the first one.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a weird one. So make it the first major, right? It's weird.
Sure.
Make it the first one. Bang. Now, do I like it in Stockton at the OTB course? Absolutely not. And, we've talked about it. I thought maybe there would be some pushback and they would change it to be a wooded course to where I think that it deserves to be a wooded championship. But there you have it. May 1st to the 4th, Champions Cup, Stockton, California. Then we stay on the West Coast here for a little bit. We'll have a week off, and then we'll go to the Cascade Challenge. Now, this used to be it was a silver event, and then I think it was a Q Series event last year, and now it's full-blown on tour here. And that will be the Cascade Challenge in Shelton, Washington. I've played this course. It's a fun one, if it's still at the same one that I played the tournament at. And I think it'll be a nice little spot there after Champions Cup. And then we go new name here. New name. It's no longer the Portland Open, Uli. It is now the Northwest Disc Golf Championship. Still being played in Portland. Still going to be that DGPT Plus event. And it still will be a 4-day tournament. But it's now the Northwest Disc Golf Championship. Wondering why the name changed. I'm wondering... You want to hear my theory?
Hit me.
I think this might be the last year it's going to be in Portland in Glendoveer.
Okay, makes sense.
I think it's getting a little bit too expensive. And instead of them calling it the Portland Open and then having to come up with a brand new name, you call it the Northwest Disc Golf Championship. And now that opens you up to not have to play it in Portland next year. The Northwest Disc Golf Championship could be somewhere else. That's what I'm thinking. From there, we take a week off and we head back to Clearwater, Minnesota for the Preserve Championship. Then we head down. The U.S. Women's Championship Major is going to be in between there in Wisconsin this year. And then we head to Des Moines Challenge, back to Iowa at the end of June. End of June back in Iowa. Oh, it's at 2 courses this year. Oh, they're doing wait, is that actually what's happening? They're doing Beaver State comboed with Portland? Is that actually happening?
Yes.
Aren't those courses really far away from one another?
35 minutes.
That's not too bad, actually. I thought they were further. All right, so that is going to be the first half of the season next year. Looking on to the second half of the season, we're going to Europe. And hey, they listened to us, Uli. They said, you know what? It doesn't really make sense to have one event over in Europe and then it make you guys decide if you're going to stay, fly back. We're just going to say, hey, you want to play disc golf for the month of June, July, and August? You better be in Europe, brother. So it does look like there is one. It does look like there's a couple that are overlapping, but there's no back and forth. So what I mean by that is the European swing starts May 23rd, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you really wanted to get super freaky, which I don't think people are going to do, if you really wanted to get super freaky, you could fly over to Konopiste, play that, or you can play the Northwest Disc Golf Championship, right? Because those are basically on during the same time, pretty much. I guess you could technically fly back from Konopiste on the tournament ends on the 25th. You could fly back, but that would be kind of crazy. So I think most people, Uli, are going to stay for the Northwest Disc Golf Championship. This is where it'll be a little bit interesting. How many people... I like how they have this set up. They have Konopiste and then they have the Ale Open. And then they don't have a tournament until July 4th. So I think though they have 2 tournaments over in Europe that will probably be mostly Europeans. I don't think that many Americans are going to go over there and play that. And then once we're done with Des Moines, I think everyone's flying over to the PCS Open. Or maybe you take the PCS Open off and you go over for the Crow Open, right? But it's just there's 2 events now that are happening at the same time. But I think for the most part, everyone's going to stay in the States. Then everyone's going to go over.
Wasn't an Elite Series Plus, right? The Western
Yeah,
Open.
it's a big one. That's why I don't think people are going to miss it.
But you can go to Konopiste and fly back and play it.
You could, but you'd probably be on like 2 days. I think you'd probably have like about 2 days, maybe 3 max. Sorry, it's the Allah Open, not the Ale. It looks like Ale, but it's the Allah. Apologies.
Sounds like that might be something I do. I like that.
Yeah, a lot of people like Konopiste.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, the European swing, I will probably be heading over. I'm going to guess I'm going to probably head over for the Krokol Open. I don't know if I'll go over to the PCS. Maybe. I might actually. They're both in Norway.
They're cool.
You could do two weeks in Norway, PCS, and then Krokol Open. And then from there, Ale, is that what it is? Size, am I not saying this right? Give me some pronunciations.
You said it wrong. You said it wrong. You said
Ale?
Yeah.
Is
there's
that what
a
it
Y
is?
in there. Yep. Yeah.
Ale.
Ale.
Yeah.
Ale. And this is where it gets real juicy. July 17th to the 20th in Estonia. That will be the European Disc Golf Festival. Wait, what? Interesting. Okay, so they're not calling it the European Disc Golf Championship. They're calling it the European Disc Golf Festival, but it's a major.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. And then they say, hey, 10 days from now, no one's going to give a rip who won the European Disc Golf Festival major because we're having the World Championships in Nokia, Finland. Wow. I don't like that.
Hate
but
it.
But
I think it's one of the silliest things that's ever happened. And
why?
we've done it before. Here's what's so silly about it.
Why didn't they put it before the PCS Open?
We've had back-to-back majors, and it is the silliest thing you can possibly do. Like, here's what I say. Okay, how about you just don't call it the European Disc Golf Festival? You call it someone else, and have it be a tournament, and then throw it over at the Crocal Open. And make that your major. Spread it out a little bit.
Or just have it before the PCS Open. I don't get that.
That's what I'm saying.
If you have it before the PCS, you could have the major at the end of June.
The only time in any sport ever to where they just go, oh yeah, back-to-back majors. There you go.
It's crazy. Yeah, 10 days apart. Yeah, I think that would have been great spot because
it's
Champions Cup is in May. The beginning of May is Champions Cup. So you go all May, and then you go all of June, and at the end of June, European Open. At the end of July, I still don't like the Worlds being in the beginning. I still think Worlds should be at the very end. But then you have Worlds, whatever. And just the back-to-back nature is just crazy. And if you're telling me this is the only time these two places can run the event,
don't have them run the event.
I don't think it's that. You know what I think it is, Uli? I think it's PDGA.
Might be, but
because they want to go over there, be over there for as little time as possible, and get out.
Just make the Crocal a major then, or
let someone else run these majors.
How about you just do that? Like it's just an M. Just put it over there.
They would still be over there for a month.
At least somebody could go play the major, fly home, go and play the other major. But here's the thing.
I think that's exactly why they're doing it, though. That annoys the crap out of me.
Imagine this.
That annoys the crap out of me that they're doing it. All of a sudden,
Gannon gets injured. He's going to miss 2 majors if it just so happens to be in that little span.
Yeah, you better believe he's. Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? If you're injured during that stretch,
sucks.
That's so silly. Now you miss 2 majors. That's why these things need to be spaced out, because the biggest tournaments, you need time in between to plan for everything.
Well, it's not even just that, Uli. No one's going to care about who won the European Open.
No, well, yeah, that's a point too. You still got to play it. Like,
also,
I get it. It's stupid.
That's also something that's silly, of where it's just like you don't even have. Literally, as soon as the European Open's done, no one's gonna be talking about it.
Everyone's gonna go back to back.
Everyone's gonna be promoting the Worlds and getting excited about the Worlds. It makes no sense. You're
already gonna be thinking about the Worlds at the European Open.
Yes. Yeah. If you tweak something at the European Open, you might drop out, so that way you be able to play at Worlds.
No,
I mean, it's crazy to say, but
don't care. You don't care.
No,
everybody cares about the Worlds. You're not gonna care. The greats' minds are gonna be at the World Championship.
Yeah, nutty. Yeah, nutty. All right. World Championships will end August 3rd, and then I'll be interested to see how many people stick around Finland, because
just talking about it, I'm already done with Europe.
Okay, well, there's one more tournament in Europe if you want to stick around on August 8th through the 10th, and that's the Turku Open. I might stick around.
You're just gonna live there now?
Yeah, I'll take residency in Europe. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably out, honestly. We're going back to the States. Oh, I'm definitely out. What the heck?
Wait, that is a month in Europe?
So if if you start in PCS Open, which some people will, you will be there from July 4th till August 3rd.
Oh my gosh.
It's ridiculous.
Hey, that's a sick vacation though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably more of a I'm probably more of a Krokle Open kind of guy. That's what I'm thinking. I'll fly over for the Krokle Open. Maybe I'm just a European Open Worlds guy.
Yeah, maybe. We got a long time to plan.
Yeah,
luckily.
a lot of time to plan. But that is the European swing over there. Then we go back to the States. Ledgestone will be played on August 14th through the 17th back in Peoria. Then we'll have Idlewild August 22nd to the 24th. So that'll be back to back in Kentucky. And then we'll have a week off and we'll go to Deglo in Michigan, September 4th through the 7th. Then we'll have a week off and we go to Jefferson, Vermont for the Green Mountain Championship. Then we go back to back to MVP Open at Maple Hill in Massachusetts. And then we'll have a week off for the USDGC. And the following week will be the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship. And there you have it.
Man, what a long season. How many tournaments?
I'm not going to count some of these European ones, but if you
gotta
played,
count them. So, somebody's going to end up playing them all.
okay, if you play every tournament, we're looking at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So you're playing pretty much a tournament every other week. You're playing almost a tournament every other weekend for a full year, right? 26 tournaments would be every other weekend tournament. You're playing a tournament almost half the year, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Half the year you're playing a tournament. So
Wow.
yeah, kind of nuts. All right. Well, there you guys have it. Hopefully you guys show up to some of these tournaments too. It'll be a good time. All right. Let's talk about it. The biggest non-shocker of tonight, the PDGA making a mistake with Kristen Tatar. So they posted a ratings update Tuesday, if those have forgotten, because I definitely have forgotten. But those that still check their ratings on Tuesdays, when they get updated, I think the second Tuesday of the month, I'm assuming, because that's what it is today, Kristen Tatar goes up, not just from 1,000, but she goes to 1,001. So now she is officially, she breaks her own record, right?
Yeah,
she goes up.
Shredding.
What happens from there? It's what should happen and what happens all the time when a record gets broken. She posts about it. Other people post about it. Everyone's congratulating. Everyone's saying good. Well, here's the thing, Uli. The PDGA forgot that the Throw Pink tournament isn't a sanctioned event because of them. So them not sanctioning the Throw Pink tournament, which makes no sense, basically screwed them because they forgot to pull those rounds out. So they ended up fixing it by pulling those rounds out. And guess what happens? She drops down to 1,000.
Well, she was. Here's what's so silly about it, okay? She's 1,001. She played that good at the tournament. With their system, the way that they do it, the way that they calculate it, she is.
If there was ever...
That's what's so silly. Just make them count, dude. Just make them count. You know why they don't? And it's the dumbest thing ever. Because of the stroke and distance hole. That's it. There's no other reason.
Yeah, hole 17, yeah.
That's it. There's no other reason. Why is that that's the silliest thing. You actually throw shots with the rules that you create and you say, yeah, go ahead and do it, but we won't sanction it. But it is a PDGA event. Here's the thing. It is a PDGA event, isn't it?
It's just not sanctioned.
Okay.
It's on her PDGA website. Like it shows.
Yes, that's my point.
It shows it.
But
it doesn't
because
count.
of the rules that we said, okay, we can't have that. We'll make sure to put it in the PDGA, but no ratings. Come on, man.
Silas, please make a reminder that if anyone ever asks, hey, Brodie, why don't you like PDGA ratings? Just make a reminder for me to talk about this, because this right here is the great example of why these ratings make no sense, guys. They pick and choose. It's just baffling. We do a thing on the off-season podcast, Uli, where Hunter will put a picture up of someone, user submitted photos, right? So they'll submit a photo of them playing disc golf, and then me and Trevor have to try to figure out what their rating is just based off of the photo they send in. And I'm telling you, brother, it makes no sense where these people are, like what division these people are playing in based off their rating. Like there's people that are 920 playing in, MA1, and then you have like 890 guys playing in MA3. It makes no sense at all. So they need to blow that whole thing up. It would be a lot better for everyone else, and we move forward. I'm not saying there shouldn't be something there, because obviously in golf they have the handicap system and people absolutely love the handicap system. Here's the thing that ratings don't really have. Uli, if you say you're 1,040 rated,
what does that even mean?
Say you're 1,046 rated and I'm 945 rated. How many strokes should you give me?
I guess your people are thinking one stroke every 10 points.
Is it 10 points? Is it 8 points? Is it 9 points?
I just say 10.
Okay, so you just do the 10?
I'm just guessing, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's probably it.
And then you have to
just judging by the way the ratings are. But then sometimes a stroke's worth 7 points.
And then you have to do the
6
math.
points. And then some are
That's
worth
what I'm
12.
saying. So that's why I was like, the handicap system in golf is very simple. You're a 7 handicap. I'm a 13 handicap. Do the math. 6. I got 6 strokes.
On the hardest holes.
On the hardest holes. Yep. Easy. So.
Pretty easy. Oh, we just figured that out quick, huh?
Crazy.
How'd you know I was a 7?
I don't know. But the other thing too is, hey, the other crazy thing is let's get rid of the outliers, right? When you play bad, get rid of those. That doesn't really show like how good you are. Get rid of the outliers. All right. Uli, it is time for us to have a serious discussion about spit outs. I think we have an epidemic on our hands of pros not understanding what constitutes a spit out and what doesn't constitute a spit out. I think we have a lot of pros and a lot of AMs, a lot of fans as well as pros that think if a disc hits the chains, it should count. And that's like saying if a basketball hits the rim, it should go in. If a putt hits the hole, it should go in. No, there's other factors involved. Thomas Gilbert said on Instagram that this may be the worst spit out in Canadian history. This putt would have secured Canada in a gold medal match against Estonia. Silas, do we have the clip to run so Uli can see this?
Oh, I saw this, yeah.
When I watched this, now, was I shocked that it popped out? No. Was I expecting it to pop out? No. But I wasn't shocked that it popped out. It's high. It's high with a nose up and hyzer. High nose up hyzer has a chance to do that. That is just what a high nose up putt can do when it hits high in the chains.
Yes. I think probably what he's getting at is like situationally horrible spit out.
But that's not a spit out. That's what I'm saying. Is like, I think we need to redefine the definition of a spit out. I don't think a spit out is when a disc hits the chains and doesn't go in.
What is it?
Or do you want, or do we want to say every time a disc hits the chains and doesn't go in is a spit out? Is that what we're saying?
I mean, you know my take on this whole thing.
Because I think some people, they won't say that. I think some
I've
people,
seen a few spit outs in my life.
I think if you go high left on a basket, Uli, with a lot of pace, I don't think people call that a spit out. And so that's what I'm saying. The guy's not
aiming for that spot.
Correct.
So here, my whole point with all the spit outs and everything is, where are you aiming? And did you hit your spot? And if you hit your spot and it comes back to you, you're probably aiming at the wrong spot.
But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what is the definition of spit out. When someone says, I got to spit out, I think we have to know what that definition means, right? If you say
it goes in and then it comes back towards you. That should be a definition of what people think is a spit out.
Okay,
it goes into the chains and then it
straight backwards.
Yeah.
Okay,
not
so
like
what?
to the side, not a push out, but it has to come back and like
Wait.
what that guy putted to me would be
A
the
spit
definition of a spit out.
Okay, so
Yes.
what are we calling when the disc hits the front of the chains, goes vertical, knifes, and then goes out the back?
Cut through.
Okay, so we have a spit out, a cut through, and a push out.
Yep.
Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good if we all agree with that. I'm good with it. There's just too many times where people say, "Oh man, that was a spit out," and I'm like, "No, it wasn't."
Yes, I would say that guy had a spit out.
Okay. And not all spit outs are equal.
No.
Let's say that too.
No.
Not all spit outs are equal.
I mean, Proctor's little 12-footer on that hill hole at Worlds.
I think that's way worse than this guy's.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Right? So not
absolutely.
all spit outs are equal. I like this. All right. Hey, we got to now from moving forward.
Nicholas
everyone
on the same hole, spit out.
Tour Life crew, here we go. Let's be the movement. Let's start.
I think everybody does think that all these things. There might be
That's what I'm saying. Everyone just says spit out for everything. Let's make a movement and push. We got
gotcha.
three words. We got spit out, we got push out, and we got
cut through.
Let's use the terminology correctly. I like it. Terminology is important, Uli.
Yeah.
Spit through, says Mad Dog. I don't know about that. You know what? The other thing that's kind of shocking about this? He said this was for the gold medal match against Estonia. The guy was wearing a Team Canada shirt. Uli, there was a world championship that took place this past weekend. What? Did anyone know that this was happening?
It's like the overall thing, right?
So this is WIFDIF, World
it's a
Federation Disc
World Championship. This used to be like one of the biggest tournaments back in the day.
What is happening here? Like, this is a massive thing in Ultimate. This is a massive thing in Ultimate. Everyone knows how to qualify. Your team has to fit for the United States. Your team has to finish top 3 and at the national championship to qualify for the World Championships, WIFDIF championships. What's going on with this? First off, the marketing I think for this was terrible. I didn't hear anything about it. This would have been a great event for like someone to come on these podcasts and talk. Like, we've gotten people sending us emails saying, "Hey, want to talk about this, want to do this, this, and this." Like, there was like no marketing about this. Like, you can't just say like a Facebook post from someone.
A lot of
is the marketing.
Kind of a few generations back, like Juliana Corver, like even Crazy John, I think mentioned something about it. This was like a big tournament back in the day for overall. And then they had like, I think this is the one where they have like the guts and all those different things. It's like a all-in-one type thing. So you could do the ultimate, the freestyle, and then there is a disc golf portion of it as well. And I might be wrong about that, but I think that's what comes to mind when I look at this. I think that's what it is. It's an overall deal.
Yeah. It's just, I think the marketing
trash
is really bad. You look at this compared to, let's say, Brixton disc golf cards, right? Brixton disc golf cards is on fire right now. People are talking about it. People are posting about it. Disc golf Brixton is doing a great job marketing. This should be a massive event. This should be a massive event. Do you know anyone that played for the United States team?
College player played for the United States. I can't remember his
name.
name.
It's a team, so there's multiple players.
Yeah. I'm saying I know one person.
Okay.
I can picture his face.
Do you have any idea what the selection process was for this?
Invitation.
Like, how do you qualify to play for Team USA at the WIFDIF championship?
I'm going out on left field here, and I'm going to say he won the collegiate tournament.
What about all these other players? I'm looking at like a bunch of names.
I'm trying to find one at this point.
Yeah. So this was Team USA.
I'm pretty sure I've been invited to play before in years past.
This was Team USA. Corey Gerber-Dolan.
Yeah, I think that's the guy.
Kevin Gleason. Gavin Cunningham. Andrew Brown, who used to play Ultimate Frisbee. Leah Tsinigini. Chris Villa, Samuel Henderson, Kevin Gleason, Christy Acton, John Willis. All right, there's one name I know.
John Willie played?
And Elizabeth Immengerger. Let me just think real quick. Let me think of some names that I did not see for Team USA here. Gannon Burr, did not see Gannon there. Ricky Wysocki, didn't see him there. Paul Macbeth, Anthony Barella, Isaac Robinson. What is happening?
Well, it's a team tournament, and so
did all these people get invited and they all said no, I don't want to go?
probably,
I find that hard to believe.
I guess, but I mean, we already won. We already won the President's Cup. What else do we have to prove?
What do you mean? We got 6 at this. What are you talking about?
No, I know, but with all those people we played the best players in the world and we won.
This is no.
The President's Cup.
This is way cooler.
Oh, for sure.
This could be a huge event. This is like the Olympics. This could be disc golf Olympics, and we got 6.
It used to be. I'm telling you. I think back in the day, it used to be like a big deal.
We got 6. We lost to Czech Republic, and Norway, and Australia.
Who did they have? Anybody you know?
Well, I mean, Estonia. I think they had. I think Estonia ended up winning. And Estonia had some decent name people over there. So some of these teams actually did something to get people. They had Katie Tati, Albert Tam, Mari Vilman. So they had good. Yeah, some of these teams.
6 ain't too bad for sending our D team.
But yeah, this is another thing that I think is a swing and a miss. I think this could have been a really cool tournament if you had some of the biggest names playing in it.
Are you going to play it next year if you get an invite?
If they invite me, yeah. What the heck? That'd be sick.
All right, you here. Me and Brodie and I are in next year.
Yeah. Should I be playing in it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's
Me,
probably
you, and John Willie, dude. We're going to take it down.
There's 30 guys, 40 guys that should play in it before me, but heck, if they're just going to let anyone and everyone sign up and that's just how they're going to do it, I'll play.
Yeah, we can't be losing some sort of world championships. That's crazy talk.
I just think this could be
I hear what you're saying.
Big deal. It was a big deal in Ultimate Frisbee is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It was a big deal in Ultimate Frisbee. It was the only time. There was a couple other events that ended up happening, but it was one of the few times that you could represent. And the nice thing too is you stayed on your club team. So the team that you played for nationals, you stayed on that team. So you would have 3 United States teams competing. So it's not like you're playing with random people. You're playing with your brothers. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. First off-season news has broken out. This is from Connor O'Reilly. He made a post on his Instagram stating that he will no longer be representing Lone Star Disc. He did say that they showed him nothing but respect and support out there this season, and it was an honor to work alongside them through the year. I wish them well going forward in all future endeavors. Now that I'm officially a free agent, what would you like to see me throw? Oh, he's just going to put it up to a poll.
Nice.
There you go. Well, if you want Connor O'Reilly to throw one of your favorite discs on tour next year, go over to his Instagram, drop a comment, and make it happen. So that was the first thing. If there are any pros listening, or if you guys know of any pros that are on the fence of where they're going, maybe hit them up on social media. We would love to have people this offseason come on, talk about their new sponsor if they end up going somewhere. If they want to break the news and say where they're going right here on Tour Life Live, we would love that as well. But we will be doing our speculation. We will be doing our speculation.
Also, a good place to advertise for yourself. You want to come on and say, "Hey, I'm looking for
if you're a free agent."
Yep.
Yeah. Great. Good call there, Uli. Yes, absolutely. If you are trying to find someone to sponsor you, pop on. Say what's up. All right. You ready for some juicy listener questions, Uli?
I'm ready. Let me sit up.
Yeah. Silas, Get ready to. We got some juicy ones here.
Oh, let's go.
You might have to look at chat to make sure no one goes too crazy during these questions.
Oh no,
here.
good.
All right, here we go. First question is the winner at the Mary Sunshine House Classic. That was just this past weekend. I think that was the finale of the Q series. The winner was over par. Is this a great look for the pro side of the sport? Personally, I found it incredibly entertaining to watch professionals struggle. Uli.
I mean, I watched some of the coverage. Shout out to the disc golf guy to bring coverage from that tournament. That was pretty cool. Not my favorite to watch because it's just hard to film. It's hard to film a really hard course like that. You don't get a good representation of how big the gaps are, how tough it really is. So even though it looked hard and they were struggling, you still couldn't quite catch the flight, the gaps, and how tough it is. I think there's a place for really hard holes on courses. And I'm with you, Brodie. I think there's a way to do that without just it being the tightest, narrowest hole, every single hole, and then add a bunch of distance. I do think there's a place for holes like that. Like if you had 2-3 holes like that on a course that were really tough, tight, narrow, I'm all for that. But every single hole, the same challenge basically, I'm out. Gets a little repetitive.
Yeah, I looked at some of the comments about it, and it seemed like not a lot of the players enjoyed it, not because it was challenging, but because it seemed a little bit unfair and a little fluky. And that's where it's like, that's where, to me, you're missing it. Disc golf already has another enough luck factor in it. There's a lot of things that have to go your way that can go your way. And if you start adding in even more to that, I think you lose the skill side. I think the skill side goes away a little bit. So I'm all for tournaments. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing a tournament finish over par. I wouldn't mind that at all. But if it was a fair test,
Yeah.
I think that's what really matters.
What I would say to the tournament director, the course designer, is get feedback from the players. Ask them, what are your 3 favorite holes on the entire course? You'll learn something from that, you know? Then try to like manicure the rest of the course to have a similar challenge with being a wooded track. Because typically on courses like that that are really, really difficult, you're going to have some good ones, really great holes. And then the other ones kind of get monotonous with like bad turning angles and different things like that. And you could probably figure it out.
And to answer Adam's question here too, he just asked, the only thing that matters is scoring separation, right? Who cares what the par is? So yes, scoring separation is important. You want holes where people can shoot under par and over par, but you want scoring separation. Let's remove par. You want scoring separation where someone can shoot, let's say, a 3 all the way to a 7, right? That is good. That is ideal. Where par comes into play and why par is important is it gives the viewer a relative idea of what is happening. If you completely remove par, if you just completely remove par in golf, and on hole, let's say on hole 15, Uli, day 3. Hole 15, day 3, someone is at 264. And another person is at 260. We have a hard time kind of fathoming what is happening. What is going on? What is the story? Are they playing really good? Are they playing bad? If you just told someone, hey, they went out and shot this, right? If we didn't know where that number was, in golf has this too. Like, that is one of the reasons why that is actually one of the reasons why disc golf right now, I think, is a little bit broken, because you can't do that, Uli. I can't tell you, hey, Uli, I just played a round of disc golf today and shot 16 under. I can't just say that, right? Because I have to add so much more context of, well, yeah, it's this pitch and putt par 3 course. Oh, okay. Golf, if I told you, hey, Uli, I went out today and I shot a 68 in golf. it doesn't really matter what tees I played for on. It doesn't really matter what course I played on. Like the difference in courses is way smaller than in disc golf, right? So that is one thing I mean, heck, the par is even different, Uli, right? If I went out and I told you that I shot a 42 in disc golf, you'd have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
Right. And so I do actually think that is a detriment to disc golf, of where you are removing something that's super easy to be relatable and tell people, like, oh, Uli went out and shot a 64 today. He played great.
Yeah.
I don't know maybe 64 actually isn't that good. And
Yeah.
someone just thinks
That's why. And then somebody tries to push the rating on there to tell you how they shot.
But then the rating doesn't make sense too sometimes, because sometimes we see people play really, really well and the rating's like 1040 and people think, oh, he didn't play that great. He didn't shoot 1080.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I think it is something that I don't know how you fix it. I really don't.
What if you had a rating? I thought about this. What if you just capped it to where, like, once you hit 1030, everything after that is whatever. It doesn't matter. And then, so you play around, you shoot however good. And then there's just a bunch of 1030s on there. And then people actually have to go to the score and look. You get what I mean?
Oh, you're just trying to, like, yeah. I mean, I think
cap it off to where, like, hey, 1030 is the cap. Are you a 1030 rated player? That's awesome. So are the best players in the world. So you guys are all 1030.
Yeah.
Now, how did you shoot? You get what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think we've all said this is, like, over 1,000, you basically should just be scratch. And like,
and that's basically what I'm saying. Okay,
but I don't know how to
1,000
resolve.
rated. Once you get to 1,000 rated, every round that you shoot after that is 1,000 rated.
Yeah, sure. I just don't know how you solve the problem of me being able to tell you, hey, I went out and shot 4 under. Hey, I went out and shot a 68.
Yeah, you have to.
And you being able just to know that's good. And maybe disc golf will never be there. Maybe that's
with par. You would just say it's a par 60, whatever.
But still, if it's we know there is a big difference between some par 68s and some par 68s.
Well, sure, but you have that in golf too. Like, somebody could come
Not really, though.
You can come to my country club and shoot a 65, and it's nowhere near going on tour and shooting a 65. Like, there's got to be context.
But I'm saying it's much
smaller.
tighter.
It's smaller.
There are some courses where if you don't shoot double digits, you play terrible, and some courses where you have no shot of shooting double digits, right? Like,
for sure.
In golf, it's not that much.
Yeah, but you go like the U.S. Open, and then you get the same thing. Like, oh, you broke par. That's insane. You know what I mean? So there are. It's like like the U.S. Open compared to, like, let's say
I'm talking more about like an average golfer. I'm talking about more about an average
golfer. It's different.
Like
an
average
is a little easier.
There are average disc golfers that can show up to a course and shred it because the course is so easy. Mm-hmm. You're not doing that in golf. If you're an average golfer, you're never going to a golf course and shooting anywhere near par. You're never. No. Never. Not even a par 3 course. Heck, par 3 courses might be more difficult.
Yeah, I was just gonna say most par 3 courses are probably harder.
Yeah, because you're not getting the par 5s and to score. So, all right, let's move on to the next one here. This was someone sent this in. They said I caught this a little bit late. So they said, have you had a chance to read this interesting article? Thoughts? So this article, the title of this article is Disc Golf Drama, Highland Park Users Dismayed at Being Overrun by Outsiders Flinging Dangerous Metal Projectiles. He continues to go on and says the article talks about the newly installed New York City disc golf course by the Paul Macbeth Foundation. Let's just say the disc golf community was not very amused by it. Have you had a chance to read this article?
No.
Silas, have you had a chance to read the article?
I haven't, but I heard about it. Somebody did a video on it.
Oh, okay. You probably know more than we do. So you want to give us a little backstory of what's going on here?
Well, this was the park in New York City, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
it's in New York.
Yeah. So there were just, well, first of all, they're calling discs metal objects.
Which is wild.
I mean, that's crazy. But I think it was just along the lines of people just didn't like the look of disc golf baskets and the kind of the the draw that it bring to the park. And so they just complained, and I guess some guy picked up this article.
So I will agree to me. I mean, I haven't read the article, but I will agree with those that aren't a huge fan of disc golf courses coming to parks. And this is why, Uli. There's a park down here called McCord Park. I want to say the course has been in place now for a very, very long time. And for the most part, it does a pretty good job of not really being too much in the way of the people that are walking through the park.
Yeah.
It is not, the way the park is set up, it is not really a park to go and have a picnic. It's not a park to bust out a football game. It's not a park to bust out it's not that kind of park. It's just not set up that way with the trees and landscape. It's more of a walking park. People will it's got a really nice walking path. They did a good job of keeping the course, for the most part, away from the walking path. However, there are a couple holes that you're kind of throwing very close to the walking path, and that's where it gets dicey. So I can see how if I go to this park and I have a good time with my family, whatever, and all of a sudden now I'm having certain areas that I was used to being able to use be taken away because of a disc golf course, I could see the pushback there. I could see it.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. I think going into a park that's established is a lot different than you building a park and then there's a disc golf course at the park. You already go in. That's normal. We stay away from the disc golf park. We know the thing. You learn together, and then you live happily ever
coincide
after.
Already.
If you put a disc golf course in a park that's already there
and established,
people have their ways. They have their walk paths that they've been doing for probably 20 years, and it can get a little crazy.
Yeah, I just think Vista is someone brought up Vista. Vista is a great example. I don't know if that was put in, if that coincided, when the park was put in, that course was also put in. I don't know.
The park was always there. But not the disc golf course. The disc golf was put into the park, but
so there was probably some growing pains there because there's a lot of holes
but it wasn't as popular obviously back then, and there wasn't as many people playing. The reason that I heard this, and I think it's true. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it's true. The reason that Vista hasn't been taken out completely yet is because of an old rule that a memorial can't be taken out. And it's a memorial for somebody who passed. And that's when you go over to the beginning of the memorial, you see that.
Oh,
so
interesting. Okay.
Shelley Sharp, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And so by law, you can't get rid of Vista. So when they have to redo the whole thing, there's still going to be some sort of disc golf course there because it's a memorial.
Yeah, it's just I think course designers, parks departments, I think everyone, obviously we want to put more courses in the ground. I think we have to be a little bit smarter about where and how we're designing courses, because we're not pissing off the local community is, I think, a bad idea. That's not really a good way of growing disc golf. And unfortunately, the sport we play, you got to have a lot of space.
Yeah.
You don't want holes parked up next to walking paths.
I like the idea of just having parks with a basket or two baskets. It's not a disc golf course. It just has disc golf baskets.
Oh,
you get what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was in Norway, we'd walk to this park and there was just two baskets there, and you were just putting at the baskets, and so it wasn't a disc golf course. It just had baskets.
One of the sickest courses I've ever played was out in Hawaii. They had 9 baskets, and a lot of them were out in the open. And you basically on one of the tee pads, I could have thrown 6 different shots to all these different. It would have been the best practice facility ever.
Yeah.
Now, it's Hawaii, super small town, kind of off the beaten path. So not that many people at the playground, not that many kids. It's not a popular park. Probably not a good idea to put that style of disc golf course at a popular park.
Yeah.
So I'll say that. All right. Moving on here. All right. This is, let's see here. Oh, so we had someone ask, do you have any idea or vision for your future after your Discraft contract is up? Someone answered it for me. He said he has no future. He's old and can't compete against the best. Dude needs to go back to making trick shot videos for children. So thank you. Thank you for answering that question for me. I am happy and luckily the way that I was raised to value the dollar and to save and invest most of the money I have made over the last years. So I am able to kind of at this point in my life do whatever I want, which is very nice. And I'm very, very lucky to be in this position. So when I'm done with playing disc golf, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I think that's kind of the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I think the beauty of it is, if you would have asked me, 7 years ago at this point, hey, you're gonna have a disc golf podcast and you're gonna talk about disc golf, I would have been like, okay, yeah, sure. I would not have believed you, right? So I think sometimes making goals and setting plans are very good. But I also think it's sometimes good to have an open book and just be able to go where your passions take you. And that is how I've continued to live my life, is when I'm interested in something and I'm passionate in something, I go after it. I leave it at that. Next question is, how do you think the Q Series went this year? Do you think it was an improvement on the Silver Series, Uli?
No, worse.
Ooh, okay. Why?
I didn't hear anything about it. Don't know anything about it.
Oh, I think that's actually a good thing.
You did.
I think that's actually a good thing.
You do.
Yeah.
Well, then what's the point of it?
Yeah, what's the point?
The point is to have a qualifying series for players to get on tour, because how else are you get on tour? That's the point. No one talks about unless you're.
Is there any advertisement on who made the tour, Brodie? That should be a thing.
I don't know if it's actually. Is it solidified yet? I don't know if it's solidified.
Just had the finale.
I don't know if it's solidified. I don't know. But
that's my. You're answering my point.
Okay, I agree with you. The one part that we should talk about is at the end of these guys.
It's not even at the end, Brodie. It's like these. What about the storyline through the whole entire?
That's for the diehards. That's for like the crazies, Uli. That's not me. That's not me. I'm not looking into the G League. I'm not looking into XFL. I'm not looking into all the Corn Ferry Tour. I don't give a rip about any of that stuff. That's for the sickos. And I think that's completely fine for the Q Series. The Q Series should be for the sickos.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to talk about the Q Series on here.
Well, we will when we find out who made the tour.
That's when we might talk about it. But if there's some random Q Series event, something crazy would have to happen for us to talk about it.
Let's say randomly, like for myself, I don't get a tour card in a few years, and I go to the Q Series. That's a storyline that'll be talked about.
Oh, because you were a professional already. Mm-hmm. Yes. Is Uli going to be able to earn back his tour card?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing like that going on.
Again, it's kind of for the sickos a little bit though, Uli, because you got to remember too, as disc golf gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And they start giving out more and more tour cards. If you don't get a tour card, that means you're like past 100, and eventually over time, very few people will be actually big names and lose their tour card. It doesn't happen all that often in golf, and when it does happen, like Ricky, I think was at some. Well, he didn't lose his tour card because he had wins and all this stuff, but
he was close.
Yeah, there were some guys that have lost their tour cards that have been playing on tour, but like no one really cares, right? They're kind of like they kind of aren't really doing anything anymore, and so I think that's going to happen too, and that's completely fine.
Yeah, it is.
That's completely fine.
I agree.
But I'm with you on Did anyone get a tour card? What happened?
Like, what's going on here? Who got the tour card?
Also, stop having people that have tour cards playing them. That's stupid.
I agree. That's silly.
That's stupid. You have a qualifying series where people that are already qualified playing in it. That's like literally having a Monday qualifier for USDGC and half the people that are already qualified for USDGC saying, you know what? I'm entering this Monday qualifier. It makes no sense.
Yep.
Get these people out. Okay, bad question of the week goes to this guy. What do you think about having caddies be trained as marshals and are required to enforce the rules for the card on the Pro Tour? I don't know if this was a serious question or not.
That'd be a nightmare. That'd be hilarious.
I don't know if this was a serious question, but
your caddies are just arguing now.
this is absolute no. This is absolute no. Yeah, conflict of interest.
Yeah, so many things.
How do we know these guys actually know the rules? What?
Well, they'd be qualified. They'd have their little qualification.
The conflict of interest is terrible. You can't be having someone on the bag rooting for someone. That's like literally saying, let's get rid of refs in the NFL and let's just make coaches refs. Let's just do it like coaches pitch.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and just have the coaches be the one calling offsides. No. What are we doing? We gotta have a third party, unbiased opinion. Third party, unbiased opinion. One of my favorite things too. This is going back to my Ultimate days, because when Ultimate was talking about self officiating and all that nonsense about how self officiating is so fun and calling your own fouls. One of my favorite things to look at is wide receivers trying to get their coach to review a catch.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw one so bad, Uli, it hit like a foot in front of him.
Yeah, I saw the same one.
He gets up and he's like, review that. I caught that, review that. And it's like, it just shows you when you're in the moment, you actually sometimes don't have a good perspective.
You have none. Yeah.
There's no way that guy in his right mind was like, it hit the ground and I caught it, but you know what? I'm going to act like we should review it. Like, he actually thought he caught the ball.
Yeah.
And it skipped off the ground. So the idea too, I mean, that's kind of funny. Disc golf, the idea also that we also are going to be in good positions to call stuff on ourselves is crazy.
Yeah.
It's just, you got to have a third party. All right. Here we go. Silas, you're involved here. Top 3 Thanksgiving foods. I think we did this one.
Yeah, we did this one.
So I think we're bringing it back. Yeah. Top 3 Thanksgiving foods. Also, best and worst dessert. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. Top 3 Thanksgiving food. Turkey.
Okay.
Mashed taters.
Okay.
I think I messed this one up last time.
Yeah, you did. I think you messed it up now already, but it's okay.
Well, no, it's because we couldn't pick the same one that somebody else had picked.
That is all. Yeah, we did a draft. We did a snake draft, and it was tough.
That's right.
It was tough. We were doing dark horse stuff, but we'll just do top 3 here. You said top 3.
Top 3. Well, then I'm on the right track for top 3.
I mean, it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. You can't have Thanksgiving without either of those. It's actually the goats. Those are the goats.
Yeah.
Those are the goat foods.
Yeah, I agree.
Those are the goat foods. If you get rid of them, it's not Thanksgiving.
Finish your top 3, and then I will go.
Gosh. Stuffing.
Okay. Here's why turkey is not in my top 3.
Oh my gosh.
Let me I eat it multiple times throughout the year. You know what I don't eat a whole lot of? I don't eat a whole lot of mac and cheese. I don't eat a whole lot of
Why not?
I don't eat a whole lot of mashed potatoes.
Why not?
And I don't eat a whole lot of green bean casserole.
Okay, green bean casserole is fair.
So I'll put those 3 in my top just because I eat a lot of turkey throughout the year. That's the only reason I'm leaving it out. When it comes to Thanksgiving, you know what? Oh, gosh.
I don't even eat stuffing. That's the thing. But it's like you have to have it.
Honorable mention, rolls. Honorable mention, because I don't eat a lot of rolls. I do look forward to the rolls. So.
I'm going turkey, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes.
All right, best and worst dessert. Best and worst dessert. Silas, you go first.
Pumpkin pie, best one.
Okay.
Not even a question.
Worst dessert?
Fruitcake.
Of course, all right. Uli?
Silas
just make up a dessert for Thanksgiving?
No, fruitcake. What do you mean?
I've never seen a fruitcake for Thanksgiving.
It's the worst dessert. It's the worst
What is
dessert
a
out there.
fruitcake, though?
I don't know.
I love strawberry cake. Is that what you're talking about? Strawberry cake?
It's like that dense, like you've never seen a fruitcake?
You would have to show me a picture. Go find a picture online and put one up. Find a picture and put it up. I don't think anyone knows what the heck fruitcake is. All right, Uli, what are we going with here?
I think that the worst, but I have to have it there, and I have to eat a slice is pumpkin pie.
You're so in the minority on this one, but okay.
I know, but I'm just selling my taste buds. My favorite, my mom makes it pretty much every year, and it's blueberry pie with whipped cream or ice cream. She actually just called me this week, and she said, what do you want? Do you want your blueberry pie? And I said, yes, of course. So
blueberry pie, I'm all about it. Fruitcake looks disgusting.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Fruitcake.
That's what I'm saying.
Fruitcake looks gross. Uli, have you ever put your blueberry pie in a bowl full of milk?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's called a cobbler, I think.
No.
It's pretty much a cobbler.
No. There's blueberry pie and then there's blueberry cobbler. Two different things.
Yeah,
the
barely.
milk is just like I think it might be a southern
it's great.
thing.
It's great. Yeah, fantastic.
Wait, you put it in milk?
Yeah.
Like you put the pie in a bowl and then you pour milk on top of it.
Banana cream pie, highly underrated.
It sounds
Banana
good.
cream pie, very good. Best dessert, hands down, pumpkin pie. Worst dessert, hands down, pecan pie.
Oh, pecan pie.
Pecans,
terrible.
Anyone that's trying to put pecans near me, I will smack you in the face. Get that away from me.
Wow. Strong opinions.
It is what it is. Ice cream probably is better with blueberry pie than milk, but you know what?
Yep.
When you're born in the ghetto, you do things in the ghetto, and you put milk on top, baby. All right. Let's get spicy here. Here we go. We got a flooded amount, and not just from one person, probably from like 5 or 6 different people. So we have to address it. We've already talked about this numerous times, but I'm wondering, Uli, I think a lot of people might just ask questions and then not watch the podcast. So they don't see that we've answered their question multiple times. But here we go. Let's do it again. How will Natalie Ryan do an MPO after Donald Trump takes office? Next question. Should men be able to compete in women's sports? Next question. What's going to be the reaction from Trump's incoming ban hammer on Natalie Ryan's? All right. I think what is happening, obviously this is a topic that is brought up all the time, but I think why the heat is brought up a little bit more right now is one, obviously it's politics season, right? We just had an election, but also there is Isaac Brooke Arnold. So this is a post by Protect Women's Sports. So I'm not entirely sure how much of this is factual information and how much is like I don't know if they go by Isaac Brooke Arnold or they go by Brooke Arnold, but these people that made the post are saying Isaac because that was what their name was initially. I'm just going to read the post for what they said, and then we'll kind of discuss. Again, I'm just reading what they posted. They said, trans-identifying male Isaac Brooke Arnold claims another victory in the ladies-only disc golf tournament in North Carolina, beating a veteran professional female disc golfer, Sarah Cunningham. This was a charity event to raise money for women's health initiatives and 2 ladies recovering from breast cancer. It's quite insulting to have a male competing and winning this event. Multiple ladies dropped from the tournament or switched divisions because the male refused to withdraw. So I think that's also one of the reasons why this is maybe getting brought up, Uli, is because this also just happened in disc golf. Couple that with the election and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's heated. So let me just throw my take on there. I'm not going to go political because I don't know. One of the reasons why I don't go political ever, we don't ever talk about politics. I've never talked about politics. Please go back and check all of my tweets. You won't see one political thing. I know you're going to bring up the one tweet that I said dark horse Trump. I think that was the day that he got impeached or something and like crazy things happened. And so I said dark horse Trump. Like that's not, so go ahead and pull that one up. There's nothing political, but because I don't know what people are saying, Uli. They'll politics, they just say what they get to get the vote and they go and do whatever they want. So I don't know what the heck's going to happen.
Yeah.
But this is my take on the issue. Okay. Should men be able to compete in women's sports? No, they should not. Okay. I do not think there is a big enough difference if you were born biologically a male. I do not think there's a big enough difference in the medicine and all that you do to transition to be able to now compete in women's sports. If we are going, and this is my take from the get-go, if we are going to separate divisions, the reasons why we separate divisions is so you can actually compete. If there was no difference between a male and a female in sports, there would not be a male and female division. There would just be basketball, football, disc golf, and everyone and anyone would play in it. But at some point in time, someone said, you know what? I don't think these dudes should be competing with these chicks. And they split divisions. And they said, if you were born a female, you got to play over here. If you're born a woman, female, whatever the terminology you want to use, you are playing in a protected division. Notice how they say protected. Why do they say protected? Because there's not really a male's division. There's not really a men's division. A lot of times in these sports, women can actually play with where all the guys are playing if they want to. But you know what can't happen? Guys can't go play in women's because it's a protected division. You know what else is protected? Age divisions. Are we now saying that we can have 18-year-olds play in under 15-year-old divisions? No, that doesn't make sense either. Why do we have an under 15 age division? Well, when you turn 18, a lot of stuff changes with your body. And guess what? You'd probably hurt 14-year-olds in a lot of sports. So what do they have to do? Hey, let's split it with ages. What do they have to do with sex? Let's split it. So that's my stance on it. If they want to come out with studies and all this stuff to show me that, hey, and again, this is where it gets crazy, and this is where I honestly don't understand it. You're basically telling me, hey, listen, I have a lot of advantages being born this way, but I'm doing all this stuff to my body to make myself worse so I can compete with these people. To me, that just is a weird thing to get around to begin with. But if that's what you want to do, and someone's like, that's what we're going to go and do, I don't know, man. I think this whole situation, I've never quite understood it. And it's simply just from the standpoint of there is a division created specifically for this group of people to be protected. And if we don't believe in that, then take it away and make no divisions. Take away the FPO. There is no MPO. There is no FPO. There's the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And just leave it at that. Best players play. Bang.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a touchy subject. I think one of the reasons they take the medicine is probably not just to play in sports, though. That's definitely, yeah, obviously
no, I'm not saying that, but I don't think
I get what you're saying.
What I'm saying is there's no argument. There is no argument that there's no one out there that can tell me in sports that males have a disadvantage over females.
Right. And I
think that's unanimous across the board. We all know that. So
Absolutely.
for you to make that division fair, you have to make them worse somehow. And that to me, that makes no sense.
Yeah, I think that them transitioning anyways, what they have to go through makes them weaker. And they like sports. My thing is, I agree. You're born a male. You have certain advantages that are obvious. They're obvious.
Yeah.
And I believe that if somebody wanted to, let's say, transition, who's already a professional MPO player, and they wanted to go through that, that would be a very unfair thing for them to do, because they would be very good and they'd be able to go into that division and dominate. And I think that that is unfair. And you're right, it's called a protected division, and it's supposed to be protected from that. It's supposed to be fair across all boards. That's why a 36-year-old can't play in a 40-year-old division, because it's protected. And I don't think that there's ill will from them transitioning and playing sports. I don't think that at all. But I do think that it's an unfair advantage, and it shouldn't be happening.
And I get that it's a very hot topic. People get very offended on either side.
Yeah.
The way I see it is, there are certain advantages and disadvantages we all were born with.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. And to think, well, heck, you know what? Then let's start. I don't think it's fair that the NBA doesn't have a lot of players under the height of 5'9". I think the NBA should have more people under the height of 5'9". Well, what are we doing, right? Like, it starts getting to the point of where if you start just kind of going down this rabbit hole, it gets crazy. Guess what? If you were born less than 5'9", you're probably not playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
And that's just something you have to deal with. Now, you are making I get the other side of it too, right? Of where you're telling me that by transitioning, they are taking drugs and medicine and things that are basically going to affect their body and probably make them perform worse if they didn't, right? That's the whole thing, right? That's the whole idea, is like,
yeah, what they're going
you
to
have to
is,
take a certain thing to get your testosterone down to a certain level to where it no longer is this unfair advantage. Now, obviously, that doesn't take into account bone structure, all these other things that cannot be ever changed. But my thing too with that is, like, you are making that decision. You are the ones that are making that decision. And I don't think it's fair for the people that are playing in the FPO protected division. I don't think it's fair for them to have to play with you, because you now have made it to where you can't compete in the division that you were competing in because of the stuff that you've taken. See what I'm saying is, like, we all have to make decisions in life, and sometimes they're going to benefit us in certain ways and disadvantage of us in certain ways. And I just don't like the fact that we're seeing it time and time and again, where other people are losing opportunities on things because of what is happening. So I'll leave it at that. I don't know, Uli, if you want to say something else, go ahead.
I don't understand how the drugs work, and I'm never going to pretend that I do. I'm pretty uneducated in this subject. What I've always said is, whatever the rules say, do that. And I hope that whoever our governing bodies are, figure it out. That's all. It's not up to me to decide. I have my opinion as a person, as a human, but at the end of the day, I'm okay with whatever the governing body that I play under, they decide the rules. That's what it is.
And my stance on this too, I don't care what you do, right? If you want to go and do something that doesn't affect anyone, that's on you, right? Like, I'm not going to put my beliefs on other people. I'm not going to stay in here and say I'm right, you're wrong. But when it's affecting others, that's where something has to happen, right?
Yeah.
And so I've been this way the whole time. I haven't changed my stance. If you go back and look at what I said at the very beginning of this, when this was brought up, my stance has been the same. There's nothing we can do. I mean, I don't know what there is to do. They tried to fight it. It was very expensive. It wasn't working. At this point in time, I don't know what else you want us to do. I know some people are saying boycott and not play. I don't think that's a good idea.
Everybody loses in that situation.
Literally have no Disc Golf Pro Tour anymore.
Yeah.
Just everyone stop playing. And what's going to happen? Like, it's the law. Like, the law has to change.
Yeah.
And trust me right now, like, what I'm saying on this podcast is not going to have any impact on the law. No politician is watching this podcast and being like, oh. So we'll leave it at that. All right. So please direct everyone to whatever this timestamp was. If someone says something on social media again, direct them to this timestamps, because it's an issue we've talked about a couple times. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense bringing it back up. Let's see. When will the course design start catering to players and not just for the DGPT's pockets? Now that the COVID boom is over, will the Disc Golf Pro Tour fold, Uli?
Will it fold? What does it mean?
Fold, like will it go out of business?
No, I know. Yeah, but predicated on what?
I don't think
just going.
I guess the COVID boom was really what was doing great, and now that the COVID boom's done, that the Disc Golf Pro Tour is going to fold, I guess is what they're thinking.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to fold anytime soon.
What about course design? They're saying that it should be catering to players and not the Disc Golf Pro Tour pockets.
How is it getting?
Yeah, I don't
understand. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
We might need more context with this question.
Yeah. I don't think that the Pro Tour is going to fold, and I don't think that the courses are. Are they talking about everywhere or just the?
See, that's what I don't know.
But maybe they're talking about like not playing better courses and then,
where they go.
Yeah, for
which is like that's the product. You can't if a course is super sick, but no one can watch it. They can't get cameras there. Has no cell phone service. Guess what? It sucks.
Yeah, I'd rather play there where more people can watch than a really good course.
Unless you're going to do like an event there and have it be filmed and then put it out post. You could do that. Uli, what does an off season look like for you? I'd love to know how often you practice putting.
My off season is different this time because I have a broken shoulder, so I don't do much. Being a dad, that's one thing that I'm doing for the first time.
Pretty sweet.
And that's awesome, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Honestly, it's incredible. Every single day, Raina changes, and I'm lucky to be here to see it.
What's the newest thing?
I mean, she's just getting a personality, every single day it changes, and she gets more mannerisms and things, and just the way that she's becoming really talkative. She doesn't say anything, but she coos and caws, so I can sit there and talk to her, and I tell her about my day and different things like that. And she'll look back at me and just like coo and caw and act like she's talking to me. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable. So that's been taking a lot of my time. That's about it. I mean, I play a little golf. I got cleared to play traditional golf like a couple weeks ago.
Get the hips activated still.
So I've been doing that. I'm not allowed to throw right-handed like fully until January, hopefully January. That's when they said I could probably throw. And as far as like putting, I putt every day, just about. Like even if it's 4 or 5, I'll go out in the yard and make sure I still got it. If it's like terrible putts, I'll sit there for 10, 15 minutes, but it doesn't take much for me to keep it active. And then 3 times a week, I go out for 20 minutes and I practice like about 50 footers back and forth for like 20 minutes or something. So that's about it.
Let's keep it loose. Keep the motion going. Nice. All right. Final question here. To maintain subscribers, Silas, I actually want to hear you your thoughts on this too, because you are a subscriber of the Disc Golf Network. To maintain subscribers year round, what content should DGN offer during the off season? My thoughts were hold post-produced coverage of the Q Series events, or even off-season events in warmer climates they could release weekly to entice people not to cancel. Thoughts?
I think it's a great idea. Yeah, the more coverage of any kind of tournament, the better, because people will consume it. We,
So you think they
like-
should have stuff going on in the offseason?
Yeah, why didn't they film this Q series? Terry Miller was there. Guess what? I watched some of it. And if I watch some of it, then somebody else wants to watch some of it. And if it was,
How many views did that get?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. Sauce, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, produce as much content as you can. You know, you have all these people paying for it, and you're not going to want to try and re-engage those people as the season starts back up. You're going to want to keep them on the reoccurring thing. So, yeah, film as many events as you can, or start a new Disc Golf Pro Tour off-season that is just like, I don't know, non-sanctioned, and people play it or something. I don't know. Just trying to come up with content ideas.
So this was free on YouTube. The first round, front nine got 16,000 views, and then the final round, back nine, got 3,500.
When was it posted?
It's been up. Well, the back nine's been up for a day or two.
Where?
Not very
Posted
good.
where?
This was on Terry Miller's Tillermare's. So here's my take on it.
I think those numbers go up if it's the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And
I
think
agree.
If it's
I agree.
live, dude, you probably might get a lot of views. I would guess.
I don't think
I
so.
think so. Yeah,
don't think so.
I do.
No.
And
Because
football, NFL Sunday. No,
yeah, the names aren't there, Uli. This is actually what I think they should do. Okay. I think, because I agree with Silas. I think the big thing here is you don't want someone to cancel and then have to re-engage that person, like Silas was saying, and get them to sign back up, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing with one of the reasons why all these Prize Picks here, DraftKings, all these different gambling sites and stuff, the whole reason why they offer these nice promos is because the hardest thing to do is to get someone to do it in the first place. And then once you got them, you're fine. So
Yeah.
this is actually what I think. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this idea. I think you just do like a 7-month or 6-month subscription, and it re-ups at the beginning of the next season.
So just
So
cut
it's not
it off.
it's not a full year subscription. You just you sign up for the year subscription, but the year subscription isn't January to December. It is February to October, to October. That is the year subscription, because what Silas said and what you said is right. Like, it would be cool to have engaging and stuff content. Here's the thing. They don't do that though. They don't have cool and engaging content. Even if you start looking at some of the other stuff that's going on right now, you know what is not doing that well right now, Uli? I don't think this putting thing's doing that well in Jomez compared to what it did previous, because of the timing of it. I don't think last year they did let's see. This one did 93,000 views. What was some of the ones they did last year? I feel like last year they did them during the season, no? Like they had them coming out during the season?
I don't think so. I think it was all off-season content.
Really?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, I don't know that it was during the
maybe
season.
viewers are just down. I mean, I'm looking at last year, we have a 232,000, 203, 158, 160. And again, maybe it's the people that are playing in it. I get there's a lot of ad facts. But what I'm saying is, like, trying to think.
I mean, 93,000, and how many days was that posted?
That was over a week ago. So it's,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it's
you
going to
give it
go
a
up.
year, it's going to
It's still going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. My take is more on this, is like, I don't believe the Disc Golf Network is good at coming up with content outside of tournaments. I just don't think that's their expertise. So whatever they do come out with, it doesn't really, and also the people that are subscribing to the Disc Golf Network, they want to subscribe for tournaments. Again, it's the sickos that are watching all these like documentary pieces and all this extra stuff that comes out. I don't actually think they're probably making that much money off of that.
Hey, listen,
So, Why don't they just do that? Just shut it down. Just hire these people for a couple months and then shut down the whole thing and then come back.
Well, hopefully one of them is listening, because if I'm supposed to talk about filming season 2 of Scratch to Scratch this offseason, and nobody's calling me and I can't get a hold of anyway. And I work for them, so that's tough. Hopefully,
but see, like, I don't think that should be behind the Disc Golf Network. I don't think anyone would watch it. I mean, I think there would. What I mean by that is, I think there will be people that watch it, but I think you would do way better free on YouTube. Yeah. I don't think people are going to pay specifically to watch that.
Yeah,
I don't think they're
that's
going to pay
YouTube style of video, and like.
I just don't think people are going to pay that much to watch. Would you pay to watch 30 for 30s?
If I was a golfer and my favorite coach was a 30 for 30 episode, I might pay. Yeah.
But see what I'm saying is, like, it's very niche.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is tuning in to the World Championship. If you have any pulse and you like disc golf at all, you're turning into the. I just don't think they should be trying to get these niche subscriptions. I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, sickos listen to this podcast. Exactly.
Well, and it's kind of like a waste of time for them too.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the return.
All this effort into it, and nobody's watching it.
I don't think they get the return. You know, like I just don't. I don't think it makes sense. I like the idea of just doing a season pass. You buy and you get to watch. You get on NFL ticket. I don't have a yearly subscription to the NFL ticket, Uli. I think I have to buy it next year again. I'm pretty sure this is my first year buying it. I could be completely lying.
Yeah, it's like $400 and
very
then
expensive,
it's done. Yeah,
but it's the only way that I can watch the Raiders, and so I bought it. And
I was so mad. I bought the NFL ticket.
Doesn't come with Red Zone.
No, and I also have the Red Zone. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put a bet out there. I put a bet out there, and it's on. It was a North Carolina game, and I can't watch it because it's blocked out from the networks owning it here in Charlotte.
Ooh, wait, what?
Yeah, you can't watch certain teams.
No, NFL ticket, I can watch every game.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
I promise you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Every game.
No, not every game.
Every game.
Nope.
Wait, what about the Prime games?
Not if you're in a certain area. They block them out. Look it up.
Thursday?
Google it real quick, Silas.
Are you saying you got blocked out because of a local event, local game?
No, because it's a local channels. They have the rights to the game.
Okay, I think
you're wrong. So
no,
I know because I can't watch it.
No. I think what it is I think are you talking about a blackout where not enough people went to the game so they don't show it on TV in the local area?
No. If you have NFL ticket, okay, you cannot watch every single game in certain areas.
Do you only have NFL ticket?
Huh?
I have NFL ticket and YouTube TV, and I've been able to watch every game. So now I'm thinking.
I have the same thing. I have YouTube TV. I have NFL ticket, and I have the Red Zone. I have the same thing. Okay.
You can watch it on YouTube TV.
I've been able to watch every single game.
Local game.
No, I couldn't. It wasn't. I don't have that YouTube TV. I have the basic YouTube TV. Okay. The basic YouTube TV. It's like $70-something. So it might not even be the basic package. And then I bought the NFL ticket. I have the Red Zone. I'm in North Carolina or South Carolina. And in South Carolina, it is blocked out for me to watch that game because it was on a local network. And the local network was like NBC or something. And NBC isn't on your basic network. NBC is extra. So in order for me to watch it, I would have to buy that too.
You're okay. So I'm not on basic YouTube TV then. That's why I've been able to watch every game.
Maybe.
I've been able to watch every game. There's not.
You probably have the upgraded plan.
You'd have to watch it through something else, Brodie. You'd have to watch it not through NFL Network because it'll be blocked out.
No, what about YouTube TV though?
It is. Yes, that's what I'm saying. No, you would have to watch.
Hear me out. When I first sat down to try to watch the Raiders game, and I plopped on YouTube TV because we got rid of DirecTV, get that trash out of here. We're all YouTube TV now. when I sat down, I plopped on my YouTube TV at the 1 o'clock time. There was only 3 games that were like watchable, 2 or 3 games that were watchable, and there was like 7 other games that I couldn't watch. One of which was the Raiders game, and I was like, "What the heck? I want to watch the Raiders game." So once I bought the NFL ticket, now when I go to YouTube TV, all 7 of those games, 8 of games, however many games it is, are all viewable now.
Mine
So
was blocked out.
I've never. That's why I'm trying to understand what's happening because I've never been able.
I looked it up. Because I was mad. I couldn't watch it. I looked it up, and in certain areas, local rights have it. So if you're in that area, you cannot. You have to watch it on the local network. You cannot watch it on the NFL ticket.
So that's what I'm saying though.
Because they have the
YouTube
rights.
TV, there are times where like I'll click into the local. It'll show like the local. When I click it, it'll show like join XCWMB News 7.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that so you can't do that though?
Not on that specific game. I couldn't.
Wow. Okay. Well, now I think I just jinxed myself, and it's going to happen to me this weekend for the first time.
It might.
I hope not. I love watching my NFL games. All right. Was there anything we missed, chat? Anything we missed? Silas, Uli, anything else to talk about? I think we pretty much covered mostly everything that went down this week. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else.
No.
Everyone Gucci? All right.
No, you saw my pull of your card though.
Yes. Kelsey actually saw it first, and she messaged me. She texted me. I was actually headed to the post office. So I was kind of like distracted a little bit. And she texted me, LOL at you pulling your card. Ha 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 ha. So I think she was trying to say Uli. It corrected to you. I said, huh? Said, look at his Instagram. Uli, not you. And I was like, oh. So then I went and I saw, yeah, heck yeah, dude.
2 of 4?
I think that might be the first one. Chat might know better. Was that the first unscripted?
Somebody
No, first
pulled.
one of mine.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone
there's
else.
only 4, so.
Yeah, there's only 4, but we've been pulling a lot of them, and a lot of it have been pulled already. So
have you pulled any Ulis yet? I haven't seen any Uli cards anywhere.
Unscripted or autos?
Anything.
Oh no, we've pulled some of your cards.
You have autos?
Yeah. I think we've pulled one auto of yours.
Wow.
One auto.
What's the most expensive card you've pulled so far?
In disc golf?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be an auto, right? So
it's probably mine, honestly.
maybe a gold AB auto.
Ooh.
Gold AB auto might be the best because it's got to be ink. Ink's gonna be the one thing they should have done, Uli, that they didn't do. They should have done a relic auto card.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They should have done a shirt in auto or a disc in auto.
I think they should have had more 101s too.
They also need more numbered cards. I mean, again, it's a very start of it all. I think it's a great set, fantastic.
Yeah, it's
set.
good. It's good especially for the average breaker who's just buying a pack. At least you get some really cool stuff in there.
But yeah, like the disco should have been serial numbered because there's only 25 discos, so that should have been serial numbered to 25. Throjo's serial number that too. Have maybe another. Tokyo is a really cool card, like Roots, like those. They basically just did like base and then a really cool card. I think it would have been cool if they had like a couple more parallels in there. So like have Midnight be super sick, then have like a platinum 1 of 1 Tokyo.
Yeah,
like that'd be sick. Have a blue Tokyo to 100. Have a red Tokyo to 50.
Yep.
So I think they're really fun to rip, but I think they can even get better, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, I think we nailed it all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. We appreciate all the support as always. I say this, I think I've said this multiple times that this is our last live show. We'll actually see if I mean it this time. Because right now, Silas, what the heck's going on? We look crystal clear.
Y'all are looking great right now. Y'all are looking phenomenal.
Hey, let's have a hot take so we can clip it.
Yeah, exactly. We need to have all our hot takes. Should we just start the show at 10 p.m. Eastern?
Maybe.
sure.
Maybe everybody's gotten off already, and that's why it's like clearing up for us.
I
Hey,
don't
look
know.
what I got a little. I didn't even check that out. A little Get Freaky for you.
Ooh, nice.
How you
one.
doing?
Nice.
Thanks.
Nice.
What else do
Make
I
sure you
got out
guys
here?
go watch The Imposter over on Foundation Disc Golf. Also, we have Black Friday mystery boxes coming soon. I'm shipping out, I think, 5 or 6 of my discs from my
Yeah, I
5
got
or
some
6
mystery
of-
boxes out there too.
Yeah, you got some mystery boxes stuff. Silas, you got anything going on foundation wise that you want to shout out happening?
Me and Connor, we have a new shirt, the Par Guys, when we played USDGC. We got that
Ooh.
merch. So
That's sweet.
Check it out.
Yeah, grab some Par Guys merch.
Did we get some Brad merch yet, or what? What happened with that?
I don't know. I think they were trying to make that quote work, and I think they were like, I don't know how to make this work. And I was like, I think if you just put it on a shirt, people will buy it. So we might have to go back to the drawing board on that thing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting. Go over, pick up some discs of ours on teamdiscraft.com, and we'll see you guys all next week. We'll have a couple guests on, I think, next week too. So should be a good show next week, and we'll see you then. Thank you guys.